And we're back.
And we're back.
Yeshivas Geulas Shaul, shteigin here in Jerusalem HQ with Shlomi Reich, new Talmud Yeshiva. We got Rif, we got Harry, we got Eden that may pull up and may not, and we shteigin da. So the last thing we saw was how there's a big sugya machlokas Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Ishmael on what's the din on Avodah Zarah in the hand of an Israelite versus Avodah Zarah in the hand of an akum. Which one is it asur miyad, and which one is ad shetaveh until it's worshipped? And we saw machlekes Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Ishmael about that. We saw that Rabbi Ishmael certainly learns on the pasuk of Abeita Abdunas Kol Mikamos Asher Avzu Shamagayim that it's talking about a targeted attack. Again, that was on Nun Aleph and Aleph. Everyone was keeping score, and we saw that it's not 100% clear how Rabbi Akiva learns that pasuk. It might be that that's like the Kuliyama. We compared it to Ayin Tachas Ayin. That Kuliyama doesn't say destroy the whole place. It's just like a targeted attack. We compared that a few days ago. We compared that to Gaza, and we said that maybe Gaza. We said that maybe Gaza has din of Avodah Zarah. We said just like the Crusaders and the Templars, the Knights Templars back in the days of the Crusades, they weren't actually Christian, but they were Sheba, they were Roman pagans. So we said that maybe that's the same thing as what's going on in Gaza, and so maybe it has the din of an Iri Dachas or of that rove of the cities over the Avodah Zarah. And so we talked about, do we have to destroy the entire Gaza? Is it the raya from the Gemara? And then we said, well, anyways, it's Pikuach Nefesh. We said we're going to start by destroying Gaza and destroy all of Israel's enemies up until and including the Vatican. And we said that this does not end until we build the third base of Mikdash. All right. Shkayach to the Yid. Shkayach to Rivka for coming. Shkayach to Harry for having us. And shkayach to Versleicher. Oh, not bad for a Yid.
Yeah, you're totally upside down.
And we're upside down. Shkayach for Yid. I remember the important things. But
That's good.
It's good, Verlander. Yeah.
You're not on your face. You know, that's you got
Hey, we got to shtag face to be on the face.
you gotta see how you.
Oh, really? That's not usually the mahalach I like to see everyone.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that's what you look like.
Oh, beautiful.
Just be wearing.
Shkayach Rebbitzin, always looking out for the, for the how it looks.
For the light.
For the for the yids. We said this when we were in Burning Man and there was a huge flood, and and we're back. Come in to and we're back. We said by Burning Man that we didn't have any socks, but the Babysher brought us like these 6 socks with like special socks, whatever. And so, and ponchos. And so we said the Babysher provides, and a very important part of Yeshivas Geulas Shaul. And we appreciate everything you do to help Shir run and help Shir get ready. It's a big schus. Okay. So it's a little chazah. Shlegs, you came here just in time. Avodah Zarah, Nun Beis, Amud Aleph, Yeshivas Geulas Shaul, shteigin da. By Reb Himnuna, it's about 27 lines up. By Reb Himnuna, Ritach Kli le'avodas kochavim mahu. So who knows what Ritach Kli could be? Good blind all around. You know? Do we have a jazz show in this house?
Which one?
If we had a jig in this. It's about 27 lines up at a dot. Last word on the line is le'avodas. Ritach Kli. I think it might I don't know if this is with a chaf or a chet, but it might be that you boil the kli, you boil the vessel,
no.
like mayim reiskin, like boiling water for avodas kochavim. So mahu. So what's the din, right? That's Rav Himnuna's kasha. Frek the Gemara. Wait a second, we gotta clarify. We gotta know what's going on. Avodas kochavim. No, Josh Strolis in Jacksonville. Sorry, we think we got shot. This is good to know. I'm gonna bring a Jastro here, so we have it. That way, we have it. Okay, so it says Avodah Zuh demand. So Avodah Zuh belonging to Ilema. If you're going to come to say Avodah Zuh to Obey Kochavim, that it's Avodah Zuh for the Obey Kochavim. Being the Rabbi Ishmael, who says that it's not usher for the Avodah Obey Kochavim to have the Avodah Zarah until he worships it, and being the Rabbi Akiva, who says that it's usher miyad in the hands of Avodah Kochavim. They have the opposite shitas. You know?
I want to ask.
Yeah, of course.
What is Rita Kli? What's the question?
So we think great kasha. So first, we are right now we're learning the Gemara, right? We're in the Gemara. We're in the Rashi, we're in the Rashi, we're in the Tesis, we're in the Rashi, we're in the Kitseis. You know, we don't Yeshivas Geulas Shaul, we don't stand there with one finger on the Gemara, one finger on the Rashi, and learn Rashi into the Gemara like some sort of art scroll.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we learn Rashi like a Rishon, like he's supposed to be learned. You know, like Rashi was meant to be learned. So we're still learning the Gemara. Ritach Kli, and so we think it means that they boiled the Kli for Avodah Zuh. So it seems to be maybe that's the Gemara Malacha of the Kli. They finished the Kli. We have to see the Rashi. But right now, according to Rabbi Ishmael and according to Rabbi Akiva, Mishamshe Avodas Kochavim. They are Mishamshe Avodas Kochavim. They're something that's used for Avodas Kochavim. The Kli itself that you're preparing is not necessarily idolatry. It's something that's Mishamshe. You need it for idolatry, for whatever they do, you know, cooking babies and such. We know that that's what they do. That's what they do to this day. The idolaters are still around today. That's what they don't teach you in like mainstream yeshiva, to get funding from the government. That's what they don't teach you from mainstream yeshivas, that get funding from the government. That the shibud is still around today. That the Nazis were this same shibud, the Roman Empire, right? That's why the Third Reich of what? No one asks. Not taught in mainstream schools. Third Reich of the Roman Empire. And right now we're dealing with the Fourth Reich of the Roman Empire. The UN, Hamas, it all goes back to the Vatican. That's the Avodah Zarah that's around today. And that's why there was a temple on Epstein's Island, because it's part of their religious stuff to rape, murder, and kidnap kids. This is called an Avodah Zarah called Molech. Familiar with Molech? Okay. Mamish Ovdei Molech that we're fighting against, that are still around to this day. So it's Mishamshe Avodas Kochavim. It's what they right. It's a kli. It's used for Avodas Kochavim. The Mishamshe Avodas Kochavim ein isuran ad sheyavdu. Even according to Rabbi Ishmael, who says that the Avodah Zarah in the hand of an idolater is asur miyad, is immediately forbidden, even before it's worshipped. Still, that's only the idol itself. But the kalim, the Mishamshe Avodas Kochavim, everyone holds doesn't have a din of Avodah Zarah until it's actually used, right? The Ella Avodah Kochavim to Israel. Then it has to talk about the Avodah Kochavim for the Israel. Now again to Chazara, Rabbi Yishmael holds Avodah Kochavim of Israel is usher immediately. Rabbi Akiva says the Avodah Zarah in the hand of the Am Yisrael is only usher once it is used.
What's Avodah Zarah before it's used?
I don't know if someone makes like a giant owl, right? And before they sacrifice a child or a human to it. So it's like, it's just there.
But it's gonna be,
right? By the way, everyone, after share, if you want, just to fact check some of this stuff, just look on Google Maps, Molech, the owl god, and it will take you to a place near San Francisco that I infiltrated and stole a garbage can. check out my SoundCloud, and I talk about it there.
They do rituals and
Yeah. It's human sacrifice. It's nothing new under the sun. It's the same Roman Empire that has been since the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, right? And we will fight until we take them down. As Am Yisrael. Medinas Yisrael, that's a question mark. Am Yisrael, though. Eretz Yisrael. These are what we're fighting. So it has to be that we're talking about the Avodah Zuh of the Israelite. Aliba Deman. Okay, well, is it according to Rabbi Yishmael or Rabbi Akiva? Ilema Aliba de Rabbi Akiva. If you're going to come and say that we're talking about according to Rabbi Akiva, that says that an Israelite who has an Avodah Zarah, it's not Azar until it's worshipped. What Rabbi Yishmael says about an Akum that has Avodah Zarah. Here, the idol itself is not usher in the hands of an Israelite until it's worshipped according to Rabbi Yishmael. We need to ask about its vessels, its things that help it, the wood that they use, the cauldron that they use, the Masham Avodah Zarah, the things that they use to worship their gods, which, by the way, every Avodah Zarah, the Iker, the Shoresh is Satanism. The idea of Avodah Zarah is binitarianism. The one thing I remember from college that kicked me out for writing a legendary thesis, whatever. Not getting into that. One of the things that I remember is that binitarianism is this concept of two gods. That there's not one Goring, there's not one Abishter that controls good and bad. You have the God of good and the God of bad. This is what Elisha ben Avuya and Daf Tesvav Amud Aleph in Maseches Chagiga pondered. Shema Beis Rishuyos Ika. Maybe there's God and Satan. Right? Now we know that Satan is the Malach HaMavis. He's just an angel of God. But the people who are fighting, the Shibud Malchias, the killer, murderer, blood guilty dogs, the pedophile heliocentricists, worshippers of the sun, Luciferians, they believe that Lucifer, Chatoi, is of equal Chas v'Shalom, Chatoi, power to the Eibishter, Chatoi, Chas v'Shalom. That's what they believe. That's who we're fighting. So we know we're going to win because we're on the side of MS and they're on the side of Sheker. But that's what it means. Oh, they're selling their soul. They're helping Satan fight against God, which we know is absurd because Satan is a messenger of God. He's a malach. He's a shaliach. Right? Okay. So it can't be according to Rabbi Akiva. It doesn't make sense. The idol itself isn't usher until you worship it. You're going to think that the vat that they burn kids in is going to be usher until it's used for worship. The Ella aliba to Rabbi Yishmael, but according to Rabbi Yishmael, that he says asur miyad is usher immediately in the hands of the Israelite. So what's the din of the cauldron? Right? What's the din of the kli? Mishamshin, my mishamshin. What's the din with the ancillary vessels used for this idolatry? Misham. So my mishamshin. So what are we talking about the mishamshin? Mishamshin gamrinan. Right, my mishamshin gamrinan. We have to see what that is. Hold on. Ma Hasam, what over there? Sheyavdu. Maybe he's saying Mishamshin is from the ones who worship them. But they're both Mishamshin, like the things, like the vessels, the ancillary vessels. We learn it from the ones that actually do the Avodah Zarah. Ma Hasam, by the worshippers of this idol. Ad Sheyavdu, and those worships. Avach Ad Sheyavdu. Here too, it's not those worship. Oh Dilma. Oh Dilma. Mina Gamar. We learn a dafka from here. Mahi Asura Miyad. So too we learn from the idol, which is Asher Miyad in the hands of an Israelite, according to Rabbi Ishmael. Of Mishamsheh Asur Miyad. So too its vessels, ancillary vessels are forbidden immediately. So which one do we do? Which way do we learn on the ancillary vessels? So asks the Gemara another question. All this, by the way, we're going to review when we see the Rashi. Asks the Gemara, my area, what are you specifying? To kavi bayile ritach kli. Why did you specify this idea of boiling the cauldron? We have to see Rashi what exactly that means. But before we see Rashi, we'll learn some Gemara. So tibayile asa. So there's a little note here. Tibayile asa. You should ask it if you made any kli or something. Made the kli. What are you asking me if you boiled the kli? Ask if you made the kli. Right? So Rav Himnuna mishum tuma yeshena coming by, right? Rav Himnuna really, he wasn't even talking about Avodah Zarah really in this sugya. First, he was talking about the sugya of tuma yeshena. Tuma yeshena is old tuma. Now we have to see versus does tuma yeshena over here. DVJ, how you doing? And we got Zoom user in the house.
Good. I'm here. I'm just in the background a little bit for a few minutes.
Background shteigs is fire. Background shteigs bring the geula. So we're saying like this. So do we learn it from the mishamshim, from other mishamshim? We have to see exactly what that means. Or do we learn it from the idol itself? Other mishamshim will be mutter until it's worshipped. But when we say it's mutter behana, right? You can break it apart and make an art or make a backstrap. And usher is usher behana. So why? So he said Rav Himnuna was really talking about Shum Tuma Yeshena from Old Tuma Titnan, because it says in a Mishnah, Klima Techos Pishuteihem Umekableyen Timein. So if you have a Klima Techos, if you have a metal vessel, it's Pishuteihem Umekableyen, the one who puts it out and the one who takes it, right, is Timein. Mishtagru, if they break this metal, right? So tar, they become tar. Chazar v'asan kalim. If you went back and you made them vessels again, yachzaruna tuma, they get their tuma status back. That is tuma yeshena. That is old tuma. We were saying what's tuma yeshena? Comes to Gemara and tells us tuma yeshena. Tuma yeshena is when you have a metal vat and it's tamei, right? It becomes tamei and avi avos atuma. We learned this from a gezeres hakasov of it says chalal cherev. We learn in the Hekesh that the word chalal, dead body, and the word sword, which by the way they're calling it metal swords. This war they're calling it metal swords in Israel, right? Anyone?
Iron sword?
Iron swords. There you go. Iron swords, and now we're talking about iron swords, mamish, iron vessel. So if you break it and it's no longer a vessel, it's not tamei anymore. It's not impure, right? So a dead body is compared to iron or to metal. Chalal cherev, the sword, is compared to the dead body. It becomes an avi avos atoma. If you break it, it becomes tahor. You make it back into a kli, and it becomes tamei again. It's called tuma yeshena. And this is what Rav Himnuna was asking. Bihadra tuma, when the tuma comes back to its original status. Bihadra tuma hane milin the tuma deoraisa is that it becomes back in the tuma deoraisa aval tuma deribanan lo, but deribanan tuma it doesn't. Odilma, or maybe lo shna. Maybe there's no difference. No, it also retains its derabanan tuma. The tibayle shar tumas derabanan. Wait a second, you're already asking me on this tuma deraisa of a metal kli. You should be asking about the other tumas that are derabanan. Chada migo Chada kamibayle. So Chada migo chada kamibayle. Asking one from migo is mitoch from the other. We're asking kamibayle. Tuma derabanan mi hadra. Does Tuma derabanan come back? Oh not. Oh lo hadra. Does the Tuma come back or does it not? The intim salomar, and if you come, you can find to say lo hadra. The Tuma derabanan doesn't come back. Tuma de Avodah Zuh, but the Tuma of idolatry, mishum chumra de Avodah Zuh, mi shavia rabbanan ketuma deraisa olo. Do the rabbis say that Tuma deraisa gets that Tuma of Avodah Zuh, even though really it's only derabanan this Tuma, but since it's so machmer, Avodah Zuh is so stringent, do we give it the din of Tuma deraisa or not? And for the Gemara, Keku. That we have to see. Eliyahu Navi will come and answer. Very good. We got through the entire Gemara from dot to shining dot, and we said pshat to shining pshat, and now we'll see vazak de Rashi. Going back to where we started. By Rav Hamnuna. Rav Hamnuna asked Ritach Kli. Rashi says Ritach Kli, right? Kli shenishbar. It's a good thing we blind. We said our pshat, but we always said, listen, I got to see what Rashi said. We said, maybe this has to do, but I think the other retach that I was talking about of boiling was with the chet, right? Roshkin is with the chet. So retach kli, we don't know. Was there an art? We did not. Was there a jastro in the house? Nish. So we blind shver until we saw Rashi. And Rashi says, what is retach kli? Krisha nishbar was broken. The kli was destroyed. The hekish alav be kornas. And you smashed it with a hammer ad sheriku until it got spread out. By the way, what word do we see in riku? Rivka? Rakia. The firmament, big word, big concept in the flat earth sugya, right? Flat earth sugya itself, we only care about it because it takes us back to the Romans, who the Jesuits who started the globe hoax with Galileo, Kepler, and Copernicus, who were all Shebut agents. I mean, this is just day one stuff. Until we're going to move past it. Sometimes our new Talmidim are like, what? They're this flat? And it's like, we're bliving shver. We're learning the sugya, but we're not getting stuck in the sugya. Not everyone in yeshiva is on board. And really, we're just still trying to learn the sugya. That's why it's important. Because connected to the Shiva. Okay, anyways.
Questions. We always got to ask questions.
Ask questions, says DVJ. Gotta ask questions. What? Yeshivas Geulas Shaul. What? Yeshivas that throw kids out for asking questions to the shul? Of course not. Okay, so they destroyed this kli. The hekish of the kornos, and they smashed it with a hammer until it became spread out like the rakia. Then this pashet, and it became like flat. And then you filled up what came back. Okay, so you destroyed it, and then they reanimated this kli. So first we had Avodah Zuh demand. Avodah Zuh according to who? If we're talking about the Avodah Zuh of an idolater, so then according to Rabbi Ishmael and according to Rabbi Yehuda, it's just a Misham Avodah Zarah, it's just an ancillary vessel. And Misham Avodah Zuh, everyone knows it's not usher until it's actually used in service. Ella, it has to be talking about idolatry that is in the hands of an Israelite. If you're going to say it's according to Rabbi Akiva, well, that doesn't stim at all. Because if it's a libra to Rabbi Akiva, over here the idol itself is not usher until it's worked up. You need to tell me about its ancillary vessels. The Ella, rather, it's got to be talking about according to Rabbi Ishmael. Now, the Rambam, by the way, just quick side note, I never brought the Rambam in Shir yet, but now is the time. The Rambam actually paskins like Rabbi Akiva. We did not bring the Rambam here, but it's the Rambam in Hilchos Avodah Zarah. Who knows where Rambam in Hilchos Avodah Zarah is? In Yad HaChazaka, it's in Hilchos Mada. Right? Avodah Zarah is all about person's perception, person's understanding of the world. That's what it really is. Do you understand the world as Einod Mavadu, as Abishter? or chas v'shalom, do understand the world in any other way, which is mamash avodah zarah. Okay.
Quick question.
So-
Quick question. Quick push. Are we
Yeah.
talking about something that was used as an idol, completely destroyed, and now repurposed? What the shot is, or are we talking about just like a brand new situation?
So we're talking about a vessel that the kli broke, and they smashed it up, and they flattened it out, and then they filled up like where it was broken, and they turned it back into a kli for Avodah Zuh. Does it go straight back to be Avodah Zarah and be Asur B'Hana immediately, or do we wait until it's worship? Who are we asking this according to?
But prior to that, was it used as Avodah Zarah, or we're just talking about something that broke?
Great question, DVJ. Great question. I think the answer is yes, but I'm not 100% sure. That's a fantastic question. I think the answer is yes. We'll go with the Havamina that it's talking about. Okay, that was used for Avodah Zarah, broken, lost its status, and then was rebuilt. Is it immediately again Asur B'Hana, or is it only Asur B'Hana once it's used again? We said, who are we talking about? Obviously, it doesn't seem to say according to an idolater having the kli for Avodah Zarah, because there it's called Misham Shei Avodah Zarah. The question, right, and everyone knows Misham Shei Avodah Zarah is not Asur until it's worship. We're talking about, yeah, we're talking the kli Misham Shei. So the vessel, if we have, according to that it's the Avodah Zarah of the Israel, according to Rabbi Akiva, obviously it's not Asur because until it's worshipped, because the idol itself is not Asur until it's worshipped. But what about according to Rabbi Yishmael, who says that the idol in the hand of an Israelite is forbidden immediately? What about this kli? So he's a Ben Rabbi Yishmael, Ben Rabbi Akiva, right? Says Rashi. Misham she'avodas gochavim shalovi gochavim ein asur not she'avdim. It's not worshipped until it's not asur until it's worshipped. Kid the amran le'el, like we said above in the Navav Beis. Hey vium below nishtam shubahem yolu asurin davalomar asher avdu. Right? It says this is Rabbi Yishmael's diuk that it says asher avdu. So it there's a custom that not until it's worship. And Rabbi Akiva be'avodas gochavim atzma palig. And Rabbi Akiva ain't in the Avodah Zarah itself. He disagrees. Aval bekelim lo plig, or but in kelim, right? In the Avodah Zarah of the Avodah Zarah, according to Rabbi Akiva, in the hands of the idolaters, asur miyad. But with the kelim, he doesn't argue that Rabbi Yishmael that it's not asur, right? That the kelim of the government is not asur until it's worship. So we say, what about according to Rabbi Yishmael? So we say mishtamshe, the mishtamshin, the Israel, right? Do we learn the mishtamshin the Israelite according to Rabbi Yishmael? Mishtamshe, the oved gochavim gamor. Do we learn that from the mishtamshe of idolatry? That's mamish idolatry. The lo mitzar is not asur until it's worship for Avodah Zuh. Or do we say no? We're going to learn it from the mishamshin that it's not asur immediately, or do we learn it from the idol itself that is asur immediately in the hands of the Israel, according to Rabbi Yishmael? Okay, I know this is like a lot to hold cup, but we shteigin up. So the Gemara says, do we learn it from the vessels in the hands of the Israelite, from the vessels in the hands of the idolater, and just over there in the hand of the idolater until it's worship? So here too in the hands of the Israelite until it's worship. Or maybe we learn it from the idol itself, and Mahi Asur Miyad, according to Rabbi Yishmael, it's Asur immediately in the hands of the Israelite. Mishamsheh, so also do the Mishamsheh, the vessels, Asur Miyad. So that's the question. So, but first, before we even answer the question, Martha, wait a second, I have a question. My area to call me Baile Ritach Kli. Why are we talking about that you reanimated the Kli? Why are we not talking about Why are we not talking about a regular? You made the idolatry for Avodah Zarah. That's how we're learning Zog Rashi. So Kulo Avodah Mitachila. You made it clean from the beginning. Put it up. We were mechaber to that Rashi, Baruch Hashem. So far, we've been learning pretty good how we learn and how Rashi learned. It's a big schos. They say the gang used to learn Gemara without Rashi. The Gra used to learn Gemara, like used to learn Gemara and use Rashi as a Rishon. And we try to be in his derech, you know? We're not just going to not go back to Rashi. We're not the gang. So we'll learn the Gemara, and then we'll see the Rashi, and we'll see, like, if Rashi the Chadesh, right? Like he was with Ritach. Okay. So Rav Yuna is talking about Tumah Yeshena. He's talking about old Tumah coming by. That's what he's asking. That's really what we're talking about. Does it go back to Tumah? In the Tumah Yeshena. It says in Mishnah. This, by the way, is a Mishnah in. You look at the Masoras Hashav, and it tells it's a Mishnah in Kalim. It's also a Mishnah brought in Shabbos and Tezayin Amar Aleph. So it says like this in the Mishnah: Kli mateches pshutein umikablein temein. So a kli which is made of metal, it's pshutein umikablein. Now, is that talking about the person who hands it over and the person who gets it? Because usually a vessel cannot transfer impurity to a human, except if it's a kli mateches. We said a iron sword is an avi avos hatoma. Only iron can become the same level of tuma as a dead body. It gets the same, whatever it has, it gets the same level of tuma, whatever it touches. Mateches is an iron vessel, or an iron sword, or an iron chair. It's a big question for Kohanim to go into any base measures that ever had a levaya that have metal chairs.
Wow.
I asked this question to Rabbi Yeager when I was in 12th grade, and he gave me an answer. And 12th grade me was like, "Oh yeah, it stems." I don't remember what the answer is, but I'm still so mech on Rabbi Yeager for the psak, you know. But we should look into it. What's pshat? The chorah is avi avos of you got a kohen sitting on a dead body over here, not pasha. So klima teches pshuteim mikableim are tameim. The one who touches it or points it out, or who, right? Rashi doesn't say. Nishtabru become they break. It becomes taru. They go back to it becomes tower. Asan kalim. You make them kalim. You make them back into vessels. Zak tehela gabach. Chazer v'azan kalim chazer l'tuma. So they go back to, right here. It says yachzeru l'tuma. Okay, they go back to the Tumah. Okay. The Gemara says, they go back to become Tumah. The Bach says, no, Chazru the Tumah, not Yachzeru. Okay, maybe that's not the Chashuv Nikudah, maybe it is. So they go back to the Tumah Yeshena, that's the old Tumah. The Halchi coming by land, this is what they're asking. Ki Hajru the Tumah, when it goes back to Tumah, Hani mile the Tumah deraisa. The chazlu Tumah in Yeshena. Zok Rashi v'tzricha tevila, and it needs tevila. Wow, I did not see that coming. Tevila. That needs. Hold on 1 second. There's a footnote by this tevila, and it says v'tzrichin. So v'tzrichin, they need tevila. The Tzios HaShabbos, and in Parak Tzios Shabbos, the first paragraph of Shabbos. They explain the reason why they should need tevila. It's Zarah. It's a decree. Shema Yomru tevila baz yomo ola. Maybe they say that they took something that was tovel that day. It didn't have Har of Shemesh. Didn't get to wait. Not only tevila, but then it needs to wait a whole other night. Mibaya, and we ask Kli. We're asked Kli shenishtam shemu pola avodas golavim. A vessel that was used for idolatry. The Amrin of Mizrach Shabbos, the Parak Amar Rabbi Akiva, and they say in Mizrach Shabbos later on, Misham Sheh is Tameim, that on a Derabanan level, the things that are used for idolatry, like the vat that they burn kids in, or the the needle maybe that they used to secrete the adrenochrome, even though they probably just slit the throats of babies on Epstein's Island and in Gaza and in the Vatican and in the Senate in the United States of America and possibly in the Freemason court that we have over here in Israel. Right, Harry? What is there over there? In the court? An obelisk, right? Obviously, obelisks rep sodomy upon our kids.
I think in the Tanakh speaks about a forbidden thing in Jerusalem.
Yeah, I mean, an obelisk. You know, we've desecrated our share of obelisks here in Yeshivas Geulas Shaul. One day, maybe birthday, take that one down and have a dayan hogun, not a bunch of dayanim that are not hogun. Okay, that was a reference to last year. I'm even young. Okay, that's where Rabbi Akiva learns Lotzita Ashera. Lotzita Ashera, Kol Eitei Tov Be'ach. Okay. So he says like this. Yachzuru L'Tuma Yeshem Avach G'Baylein. This is what they're asking. Does it go back to the Tuma that's talking about Tuma Deraisa, but not Tuma Derabanan? Or Dilma, or maybe it doesn't make any difference. It goes back to its Tuma. So Misham Sheh Tuma Shavran. If you break them, Kedei L'Tarim, enough to retire them. Chazar v'richtam. You go back and you make it back to the state of idolatry. By the way, DBJ, Rashi just answered your question, and it was used for idolatry. Then it was tamei derabanan. Then they broke it and made it tahor again, and then they were ritzchan. They fixed it for idolatry. That was a fantastic question by DBJ. He was mechav into a bavord from Rashi. It still wasn't used. Mihadar l'tuma kamaisa or lav. Does it go back to its first tuma? Rabbi Nuna was talking about tuma. Put it up. This is how we were learning also. Baruch Hashem. I mean tuma deraisa. Aval tuma derabaran lo odilma lo shna. B'tibayle shar tumas derabaran. And so ask about other tumas derabaran. What are you talking about? Tumas derabaran of a kli matechas that's used for Avodah Zarah. That's such a specific case of tumas derabaran. Why are we asking about the kli matechas that's used as a shanda for Avodah Zarah, which is like a very specific tumas derabaran? Ask about the other tumas derabaran, says the Gemara. Answers the Gemara. We're asking one from the other. Tumas derabaran mihadra. Does the tumas derabaran of the kli matechas come back, olo or not? Hadra or not go back? Lo hadra. And if you're going to say that it doesn't come back, Tuma Avodah Zuh, well, that's Tuma, that's right, that's Tuma Derabanan at all. But maybe Tuma Derabanan is because the Chumra of Avodah Zuh, maybe the rabbis can compare it to Tuma Deraisa, which does come back, right? Or do we not take that into account, the Chumra of Avodah Zuh? And the Gemara says, Teku. We'll see. Zok tehil garaji. Aval tumas avodah zuh is derabanani. The cry is not the cry is just a sakdama. So the cry ask about the rest of the tumas derabanan. Kigon kli dimitamo b'mashkin. Maybe it had some right water. Derabanan can elevate anything to the status of a rishon l'tuma. Water, even a shame l'tuma, everything is komatame, right? Mashkin. Which is any regional tuma or any shame, right? Is it makes water go back to regional tuma, and so water on a fruit, if your hands are just stam yadayim, makes the fruit a shame of the tuma. So I'd stay away. Tuma derabanan. About tumas, avodah zuh is derabanan. Shar tuma derabanan is going kli the mitama b'mashkin. It became tuma b'mashkin. Even if you have a wet vessel, it doesn't become tuma deraisa. Even if you have a wet vessel, it doesn't become tuma deraisa, but it becomes tuma derabanan, the vessel. Because there is one case where mashkin, where liquid can make a vessel impure, and that's if the liquid itself belongs to a zav or a ziva, which is like some sort of special seminal or vaginal emission that causes it's a avatuma, and so an avatuma can make a kli a rishon l'tuma. So they made a gezerah that all water makes a kli. In this case, a sheni l'tuma derives derabana, right? Or the water on the kli is a rishon. Okay, and the water is betami. The kli to be a sheni, it's only derabana. Really, derives it only works like that in zav.
Probably get something at the.
4 minutes.
50 minutes. 4 minutes. Okay. Allah the mayor and Enu. So the Gemara says, the Ravana made the gezerah because of Zav. And Zava could go in Roko, his spit, and he made Raglav. What's the Zav or Zav, even his spit or his urine, is an Avatoma, boom, like we said. Nenu, Umitame Kli, and make it Kli Tame Deraisa. So we're saying we're asking one from the other. Chadami go Chada, Kilaima. Bishar Tumos, Nami Mi Baile, and the other Tumas. We're also asking that. And the reason that we're asking specifically of the Tumah Derabbanan of idolatry, Sheila Acheres, he has another question. Hanish Eles Mitoch Shata Shabbash Zarah. From that, like on top of the first question, we ask other Derabbanan, other Tumas Derabbanan, do they come back? We're gonna ask, right? If you're gonna come that Bishar Tumas Derabbanan, it doesn't come back over here. What is it? What's the din? By klimateches does it? Sorry, by tuma derabbanan of idolatry does it come back because of the chumrah of idolatry or not? Answers the Gemara Teku, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is today's shir. I'll ask for my mandolin for just to do a little chazara, and we don't even have. Maybe sure is the pick in there. That one. Today we learned about Misham Avodah Zarah, the wood and the stones that they used to kill our children. At what point if it breaks and becomes sour? Does it go back if you read that quickly? If you fix it? In Bohemian Grove, we know that Nixon did it. All of the Sheba Malchus have been there, and we know there are other places that they worship their idols and sacrifice children. Epstein's Island is only one of them. We say must be talking about the idolatry in the hands of a Jew, according to the Rabbi Yishmael. That's the only way the question makes sense to ask about the Mishamshin of Avodah Zarah. We said, what about asking the other questions? We say, no, here's the talking about Tuma Yeshena, Old Tuma. And if we're going to be talking about Old Tuma, then we have to know that the Shebud still around. Talk about Old Tuma, 2023 years since we started counting the calendar of the Shebud. Malchus. Beis Hamikdash was destroyed 70 years prior, and we've never given up hope to rebuild it. But first, we got to go to the Vatican and get our stuff back. They have our menorah, they have our shulchan, they even have the face